And guess who's dominating the headlines once again? It feels like...
Who might that be, Mo?
Whether he's playing, not playing, he's always in the headlines, regardless of what's going on. The one, the only, Mr. Kyrie Irving. He's once again, in the news cycle. Reason being, he's got his player option coming up with the Brooklyn Nets for around $37 million. Now, he can opt into this final year of his contract, or he can decline it and try to get a longer-term deal. Now, what he's trying to do is get more guaranteed money for the longer term. However, the Brooklyn Nets are very hesitant to do this. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN described the mood between the two camps as acrimonious. That's what he's saying is going on.
That's a big word, Mo. That's a big word.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. And I'm going to put up the dictionary here. And acrimonious, long story short, means angry or bitter. Because Kyrie wants a long-term deal with a lot of money guaranteed because he is, let's not get confused, one of the most talented players in the association when he's playing. But the Brooklyn Nets say that he's missed 123 games since he's been there, whether it's injuries, the vaccine, or that mysterious 2-week break that he took. He's only played 103 out of the 226 possible games that the Brooklyn Nets have had. Over the last 5 years, in fact, Kyrie Irving has missed 41% of potential games, regardless of what team he's on. So it makes sense for the Brooklyn Nets to put these incentives in his contract to say, well, you have to play, 65 games this year to get all of your money. But also from Kyrie Irving's side, he can't predict the future. If he was to get injured on the first day of the season, God forbid, and miss a whole bunch of games out of no fault of his own, then he'd lose out on money that other players get who don't have these things in their contract. So BJ, you've been around the league for a long time. You've seen a whole variety of different contracts. You've been an agent, you've been in the front office, you've been a player. What's your take on this whole situation between the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving?
Well, Mo, any part of a negotiation, one side is going to ask for one thing. And as an agent, it's okay to ask. I don't have a problem. Kyrie should ask.
Yeah.
He should ask. Okay. The only thing that the opposition can say is no. So I have no problem with him asking for whatever it is that's being reported, if in fact that is true. However, when I look at the Nets, the facts remain. He's missed, what'd you say, 41%
of the last games? 5 years. Yeah. Whether it's the Nets or the Celtics or whatever he is.
So they should ask for a discount.
Well, they're trying to go for less years rather than less money. They're trying to go for the less years.
Less
Kyrie
years,
wants a long-term deal.
If Kyrie played, let's say 85 to 90% of the games, this isn't even a conversation. We're not arguing about talent. We're not arguing about his impact on the game. We're not arguing about him putting people in the seats. We're not arguing about any of that. We are negotiating on, one has facts. They have facts. We don't have to agree with it, talking about the Nets, but they have evidence to indicate over the last 5 years, he's only participated in 41% of the games. Is that what you said, right, Mo?
That's according to the internet. I've not done the numbers myself. I'm trusting, I think it was Bleach Report.
Let's just say, so we're accurate here. He's missed a substantial amount of games.
Yes, a noticeable amount more than other players.
Okay. Now, when he does play,
oof,
whether he plays 25 games, 29 games, whatever he played this year, we're not arguing.
Oh, no.
And my criteria for a max player. I have two. You either put people in the seats or you affect the bottom line, which is wins and losses in this league. Kyrie does both. He's an exciting player. People pay to watch him.
Yeah.
And Kyrie is an impactful player where he affects the bottom line to win games.
Unless it's the first round against the Celtics.
Unless there are exceptions to every rule. Now, I don't have a problem with that at all. Now, this is why they call it a negotiation.
Yeah.
So Mo, and the words, let the games begin.
Yes, sir.
I'm all for it. And I want to share this with our listeners, you and everyone else who's listening. A negotiation doesn't start until someone says no.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well,
okay. So let's see what happens.
Well, there are a few options being floated out there in the media. You know, there is apparently a list of teams that Kyrie would like to be traded to for the second time in his career. He has a list of teams that he would like to be traded to. Let me try and see if I can pull up the list right now. Okay. This is just reported. I've not heard it from Kyrie himself. Let me try and find it. But there are people, as always, because it's the offseason, BJ, people are talking about the Lakers. And the only way for him, unless the Lakers are willing to trade Russell Westbrook, is for him to take a $6 million deal there, which I don't think.
Yeah, this is here's the bottom line here.
So here's the list. I've got the list for you if you want it.
Okay, go ahead.
The Lakers, the Clippers, the Knicks, the Nets, the Mavericks, and the funniest one for me, the 76ers, who happen to feature James Harden, who reportedly left Brooklyn because he didn't want to play with Mr. Irving.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay, great. That's fine. Again, these are the rumors. These are the internets. Let me clear this up. That's not happening. And here's why it's not happening. It's because at some point, we all have to make business decisions. Kyrie is without question when he plays, one of the elite players. Under what business sense would it be in his best interest to go from making, what is he making now? 30 something million?
His player option is 36.9.
36.9 million dollars to making $6 million. For what reason?
I have no idea.
Okay, so if he goes to Philly, the answer is no. If he goes to the Knicks,
well, for the other teams, it would be in some sort of trade, I imagine. That's
okay.
What the reports are saying.
Why would the Nets at this point take back that level of contract?
Because they have
No. You don't have to. At some point, we all have to make a business decision. Even billionaires, Mo, this, I have no idea. But I can count in my mind to say he's probably losing. The owner of the Nets is probably losing $50 to $60 million. He's probably going to lose upward to like $100 million just in luxury tax alone. Now, can he afford that? Absolutely. But at some point, Mo, you have to say the following. You're paying $60-something million in luxury tax, and you can't even get one win. At some point, you have to make a business decision, because let me put this into its proper context, unless I'm missing something. They have another player that's on their team who hasn't played a game.
Correct.
Let alone this guy. Okay.
And we don't know when he will play a game.
This is what I'm saying. So, Mo, I'm going to say the following. I understand you gain the leverage. I want to get traded here. Okay, great. There's a lot of things I want too. The reality of it is, it's a business decision. There's only a couple of teams that could pay him. The Pistons. I don't think the Pistons are going to do it now because they're not doing it. Okay. I don't think the Knicks bypass a lottery pick to make space for Kyrie Irving. I don't believe they would do that.
Well, if they miss on Brunson.
Okay, so who they trade? So we're going to trade Julius Randle. What are you going to do?
They're going to have to do something because they've created that space to try and offer it to Jalen Brunson.
Let's think about it. So you're the owner of the Nets. You're just going to take on a salary for what reason?
Well, if Kyrie doesn't accept his play option, is he not a free agent?
He's an unrestricted free agent.
And the Knicks have created $100 million in salary space. Is that not what the Knicks have created enough space to offer Jalen Brunson a $100 million contract?
They could do that.
So could they not offer that to Kyrie Irving if they miss out on Jalen Brunson? Or if Kyrie Irving becomes available, offer it to him instead of Jalen Brunson?
I don't see that happening under any circumstances.
Okay.
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all.
But neither do I. I'm just saying hypotheticals.
Well, great. I live in the real world. That's not happening. I'll let you play that game.
Okay.
But on this game, you said real name, no gimmicks. No gimmicks, no hypothetical. They're not offering them that. I would be shocked. Okay. I would be, as you were ready to turn your hair green, I'm ready to turn my hair green. The little hair that I have. If the Knicks turn around and offer Kyrie Irving a max.
Okay.
Think about that. Think about the fun the media would have with that one.
Oh, it would be a field day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see that happening. Now, at some point here, they have to negotiate. They have to figure it out. And they have to come to some conclusion. I think both sides will make their argument. We don't have to agree with their argument. The Nets have a legit argument. Kyrie, get all the money you can as a player.
Secure the bag.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with that. As you say, secure the bag, get as much as you can. But at some point, hopefully cooler heads will prevail and they'll strike a deal. That's how it happens. So
okay.
We'll see.